I think the zip code plays are a blast. It may have started as a way to just keep the company active during the pandemic, but I think it's grown far beyond that. I think that the sort of tours through the areas of the city are something that, we're going to be looking at, for a long time to come. And it's a way, if you want to get your family into what is South Central like, what does it feel like to be there? I've heard so many scary things. Or Pacoima, who goes there? I think when you listen to the play and you look at the companion material, you're going to understand that we are part of a city. This is not just a megalopolis. This is not just a region, but we're a part of what's going on. And at the same time, you'll be deeply entertained. I mean, you can't get better actors than we have. One of the things that we did is we worked as a team, which I think is so important. And we swapped scripts early on, and not so much to create like an intentional link between them, but so that we'd have a sense of what the larger universe was, and obviously to make the plays better. Really excited about Inglewood. I literally live like not even a quarter mile from the old Hollywood racetrack. And it's such a great story that Paula Sismar has told. West Hollywood, I used to work at City 10, the city cable channel. And so to see a story set in West Hollywood with so much of Shauna Abley's heart, I mean, you think of him as a horror guy. He's written so much for film and television in that world and in reality, but he does such a great job with this couple and this encounter they have with a new gentrifier. Pepper, I think, has done an incredible job. I mean, I'm just so excited for all of them. I mean, Elizabeth Wong is writing about some bingo players, like in the in the Asian parts of LA. And what I think we've done is to provide a non-stereotypical glimpse into aspects or places of LA that we often don't give too much thought to. One of the things I sort of believe about Los Angeles is that we think that there's no culture and think that there's no history, but we're living in an extraordinary place with many, many stories to tell. And things like the zip code plays are almost like these delightful appetizers that just give people a sense of like, this is where we are sitting. We're sitting on, you know, land that has not been seeded, of course, and we're sitting and building on the legacies of all these people who we really ought to know you know and building in communities. I mean, people talk about feeling isolated, but you think about the mahjong parlors and the bingo parlors in I mean, not Chinatown now, I mean, but more Monterey Park, Alhambra and so forth. And I think if we can plug into that, especially after this pandemic finally fades, we're going to be stronger people because we face some really significant challenges ahead. And those can't all be solved by theater, but theater can play a role in how we understand and frame those experiences, and not just in a teaching way, but in a way of bringing us together as a community. And radio is great for that because nobody has to go anywhere, and it's the theater of the mind. And these plays can all be enjoyed by like the whole family, which I think is awesome. I mean, essentially, Antaeus is doing what Pixar does. Where the kids can get one thing out of it, like in $10 in the Tambourine, my play, there are lots of really cool sound effects because they're in her radio station, and there were a lot of cool sounds that were happening in those early radio days. They were inventing the radio format at that time. So I think a kid or teen could get into that aspect of it along with the ghost aspect of it. I think when we go to West Hollywood, there are things to enjoy. Pepper's piece in Pacoima. I mean, how often do we make it to North LA and which is still so rich and so vibrant and changing like crazy. So I think it's adults, I think it's kids, I think it's people who want to enjoy the theater of the mind, and I think it can be deeply restorative. And I honestly think people should listen to the first season, to just kind of prep themselves for season 2.